Greetings, Echo Cluster. This week, something happened that was not on my bingo card. I don't think it was on anyone's bingo card. We got a new Planets game. The news item, breaking news, introducing VGA Planets Skyfire. And what kind of game it is? Well, many haven't even tried it out yet, even though the news item is there, especially on the old side. But it's totally different to this game of ours. Our game, VGA Planets, is a very serious strategy game that can take over 1 year or more to play. This is the complete opposite, this Skyfire. This is like um, a mobile game, kind of space strategy, space tactic game with deck building and tower defense mechanism, kind of. Let's take a look what's it like. So if you haven't tried it out or are not going to try it out or anything like that, let's take a look at it. And you who have already tested it but don't know anything about it, how to play it or anything, I give a few tips. So, but where to find it? Here's the link, skyfire.planets.nu. First it says that my plugins don't work for and it opens you the possibility to log in with Google account or some other options. I have logged in with my Google account, and because of that it shows me continue playing. I actually mostly play this with my mobile from the Android Play Store. I Google Play, I've downloaded it from there. It's both work nicely, and when you go into the game, this is how it looks like. It's just money. I've won 8 games and lost 2 from my past 10 games. This is the faction I'm playing with. This is now the privateer bands, but let's change it to missing colonies of man, which is the starting. The missing colonies of man is the starting race you can start with, and as you go forward in the game and you gain more experience and levels, you get more races open. And this is my fleet basically, and I can change the ships in my fleet options from here, from the deck. But instead, let's take a look at the battle. So first it searches for an opponent. If there's a human player around, you get to play with the human. And if there's not, you get to play with kind of an AI, which is pretty smart. Astra, now I'm not sure if that's a real player or not. He sent that kind of a ship here. Here on this game works so that you have these options what you could build, and they are work differently on the map. Most of here in the center of the map, there's debris disks where there's some minerals you could go fetch. And then the ships go from the left or right side towards the enemy. And then you can drop the ships to the map if you have the energy for it. Here you can see the energy that grows all the time. And here you can see the cards and what is their energy cost. And then you can drop these ships there and you get the drill. And here we have the planet, which is, of course, the thing you need to capture or destroy in this game. And then you have the star base, which is basically a tower that can defend. If the time runs out, the player with the starbase out will lose. But if both have starbases out or both have starbases, there are it gives extended time for quite a lot of time. And see, I'm winning this game, and I won. Boom. And this is it. It's this fast. This only came a couple of days ago, and I've played a couple of hundred games, and it's actually not that long time because it one game just takes a couple of minutes. And what then happens is that you get some experience points. If you lose those experience points. But if you gain a rank, that kind of saves your points there. You don't lose rank. Then you get always a chest. And from the chest, you get some cards and money. And what those are for is simply to raise the deck levels. You see, we can go here to change the deck. And here we have different kinds of cards. And here we have more cards which are not in my deck, but I could add them in my deck. You can change the cards by clicking here. And then from the card I want to add, I click like this and it's swapped in there. And then if I want to raise the deck levels of my ships, like for example here it says upgrade, I can just click here. But now, as you can see, I can't, even though it says that I could. But because you need, for the raising the deck level, you need both cards and money. So that's why it was golden and so that I can, because I have 55 of these cards and it requires 22 of these cards to upgrade this. So the amount of these cards has nothing to do with how probable it is for you to get these cards. Basically, when you play the game, it gives you 4 cards out of this, and every time you play a card, some card that wasn't played before is there, and these same few cards just kind of go around. And you, of course, have to make a little uh, strategy about why you choose some cards and how you play them. First of all, I have some small cost cards here, which are the kind of cards I can play from the beginning or in a tight spot. There's the Gignos, the Patriot, Last Deepest Vector, Last Minefield, and these are actually my logistics. The Large Minefield, Last Deepest Vector, and Neutronic Refinery Ship, these are used to gather those minerals. And when you gather those minerals, you get more energy, which means that you get the boost in that energy, which is the currency inside the game, which you use to use the ship. So if you are able to get those minerals from the debris disks, you can drop there more Virgos or something like that because it costs a lot. And then I have these more heavy hitters like the Iron Lady class frigate and the Virgo class battle star. And there's of course the star base, you can also upgrade that. And if we look at the ships, it actually shows here some very important things. The amount of beams, of course, like in planets, usually it suits more fighters when it has more beams. And the torpedoes are very devastating towards ships. And engines, I'd love to think that the tech level, with higher tech levels, this goes faster, but I don't know. And this is important. Some ships have just one ship, but for example, this Iron Lady, when you drop it, it costs 4. There's actually 3 ships there. And it's quite fast and powerful when it blows through. But then it works in unison with these other ships. For example, this Cygnus class destroyer is small, not so strong ship, but I love to use it as a, a sidekick for the other ships. It's excellent if the enemy ships are shooting at my ships. I can drop this to the side, and it's there shooting those torpedoes towards the enemy. So it kind of boosts the main fighter. If this is alone, it's quickly taken out by the enemy. But if this is next to behind a Virgo, it works totally differently. Also, Patriot is good ship behind these other ships, sending out fighters. So, for example, when I fight, I want to make it so that this goes first, then comes this one, the Virgo, and then the rest are kind of, I can throw them out there to support these other ships. So there is strategy. There's the strategy part that you have to design the fleet so that it can take out all the enemy race abilities and their ships. Because just like in planets, all the races have their unique ships and also their racial abilities. And some things you have to know about this game. Some things don't work like you think they work. And there's the little texts that are important to read. For example, this neutronic fuel carrier. It's actually a heat-seeking missile. If you put it on the map, it goes towards the enemy, and when it sees the biggest ship, it boom, pushes towards it with giving lots of damage to it. And it actually only torpedoes can touch it, and it touches 9 of 10. But this is not actually true, because if there's a minefield in front of it, it instantly gets killed in that. And then there are some support ships, like the Sagittarius class transport. It actually hangs back and it supplies fighters to the carriers and so forth. So some ships work differently. And then there are some completely different things here, like this Iron Storm. And this is a skill card. It means that it produces this Iron Storm that sweeps the whole board and tracks friends and foes alike. It gives them damage as it tracks, and it's useful, for example, against cloakers. And this kind of the missile salvo is also, it's an expensive one, and you can just throw it. Heavy area bombardments somewhere. It's not a ship, and I personally don't use much these because I kind of like to think that if I pay a card, I'd love it to stay there or have the ability to stay there on the map. I kind of think that it gives better worth for the points I used into it. But of course, other players are very great in using those tactical moments. Here we have this more button. There's some news, but there's ranks. Fleet command right now. There's this player called Winner. I have no idea who is playing Horvath, but I haven't actually met him. He's won 344 games and lost 89. And there's this Griffin. You of course know him. He has some devastating high-tech dark wings. This dioxymoronic, who goes with quantum torp federation ships, those are nasty. And Tiga has been really digging into this. He's an excellent planets player, and he's also an excellent VGA Planets Skyfire player. And he's been writing in the public activity feed his tips, and he's really great insight into this game. And I'm there fifth. And you can see here I've won 137 games, lost 57, and this in a couple of days without using a lot of time into this game. So I actually already think that this game is much fun, and it's something that is for laser for planets players. I can think, for example, in a convention, you could have a cup going on, and you can also play together with other players. There's the two versus two. I've tested it with Griffin and Petard, and it works very nicely and it's fun. Then there's the store. There you have this coin. You've mega credits you've gotten when played. You can There's daily shelf of cards available. I'm not interested in these. Then you could buy, for example, right away some race, or you could buy some hull directly, or some money, or something like this. Or wild cards. Wild cards is basically just a card you can use on any ship design, as you saw how I upgraded. But this is just exactly as it is in the campaign mode in Planets New. You don't need to actually use this money, so it's not a pay to win game. I haven't used a single mech, real world money into this game, and I've been playing just fine. As you see, I'm fifth already on the leaderboard. But if you have some idea, you would just instantly, instead of grinding and testing and finding out, if you just want to take one race and get those ships you intend and go with it and use a few bucks for it, this is the option for that. And here in the very below is a daily gift. There's a box. Here's a link. When you open this page and click it, it takes you directly there. You get some mega credits and cards every day, and there's also a bonus chests. If you play 4 games in a day, you get some bonus uh, chests, space chests. But the whole thing is that this is a deck building game, basically. So you choose the cards you want. There's many. I haven't unlocked all for Mesango's Man, I'm sure. And then you can upgrade those cards you think are the ones you're going to use. Like, I'm sure I'm going to use the Virgo. I'm using all my wild cards here and keep on doing that. So, this is the game, and this is what it's like. And let's take one more game, and then I'll stop this video. And maybe next time we'll take a screen share with some other player, or 2 versus 2 game. But here we have Sable 23, which I think is also a bot again. Here are some things. When you drop a ship on another ship, if it's a heavy ship, it gives damage. And this is actually very important tactical thing in this game, because it's often is the strategy, how you open up the game. Like, I waited here for the enemy to approach me so that I can drop my ship on his ship and also place that, give that star-based damage a bit. And now also it's important that I was able there to get that one run of the minerals, because then I was able to build some more and get into the enemy side. And what I do here is I try to get the action little by little there and get some fortification into the middle. So in the best case, I would have a continuous flow of minerals, and this would be going fast, this energy bar over here, and I could just keep on dropping these ships. Like now, the enemy is coming at me and I'm about to lose. But let's see if I drop this Fuego. There. It destroyed all the enemy ships with the landing damage. And minefield hits some of those. Now I'm going to lose this game. And this is the way how I use these little ships as super ships. How they went away. That wasn't the idea. Oh no. Damn. So they move by themselves towards the enemy. Damn. I lost. Well, that was a fast game and fun game. I lost some rank points and I got a consolation prize. Personally purse of some mega credits. How nice. I consolidated. But this was VGA Planets Skyfire, and you better test it and add me as friend and let's play some together. See you in the Echo Cluster.